rockers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to the second video that's going to be on my channel tonight. If you're here for both of the videos, if you're here for one of them, here for this one, I appreciate you being here and spending a little portion of your day with me. It really means a lot to me. Okay, recently I posted a video on my channel and it was more of a story time themed kind of deal, right? And I didn't know how it was going to go down. I didn't know if people were going to be here for it. If not, you know, I completely respect that people have subscribed to this channel for drama, and I'm gonna give you that, I'm gonna serve you that, and it's gonna be hot, maybe sometimes cold, we'll take what we get. And I didn't know what to expect by doing that first story time, and I will link it down below. It was from the most insane, chaotic night that I had in Los Angeles, and the response to it was so amazing. And furthermore, in just you know, liking the video, I loved reading the comment section because it opened up way more of a conversation, and it was like a deeper part of my audience that was watching it than just a drama video, and people were giving their opinions on what I said, and they were also like, hey, you said this happened to you, you know, something like this happened to me and here's what happened, or, you know, this has never happened to me before but this happened to my friend. And I was just having the most amazing time in the comment section. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about my worst date story ever. Now, I have told this story briefly once on a live stream, and for the sake of this being a YouTube video in which I'm pretty sure this person is going to watch it, a few little details might be tweaked here and there just to make sure that they don't know I'm talking about them. But with that being said, if you want to know the full truth, I'm gonna give it to you. So, worst date stories, I'm gonna tell you mine. I wanna know yours below. Okay, I'm just like, I love sitting down and talking, so we're gonna get into it, right? Oh. A little bit shy there. Okay, so first date story. Setting the scene, I moved to Brighton, which is in southern England, East Sussex, an hour away from London. London's here, it's down the ways. I moved there around 9 months ago, I think. Yeah, 8 or 9 months ago. And for my first couple months, I was seeing a lot of people. And by that I mean friends. I wasn't really going on dates. I didn't feel comfortable enough even meeting up with new friends. So it really took me a while to adjust to not only making new friends in this place, but also romantically going on dates with anyone. And I personally am someone who finds dates so awkward and finds them uncomfortable in itself. And I think it's also because I've never truly gone on a date with someone that I feel fully comfortable with. And hey, we live and we learn, right? But I mean, off the top of my head, I mean, I've, you know, gone on, like, half dates with people to, like, the club, and, you know, like, you make out with them and you never hear from them again, or, you know, something along that lines. Or, what is another one? You go out with them once, go out with them twice, then they're never the same after you message them the last time. Like, I've had situations like that, right? I've had situations where, you know, I've went on a date with someone in London, and, you know, they're cute here and there. Nothing really that stands out. Ever. No, let me tell you, no man has ever stood out. And if you're watching this and we've been out, I apologize, do better. But I went out on this one date, and I hadn't really gone out with anyone yet in Brighton, so this was one of my first dates ever. I was asked out, and normally I was gonna turn it down. I ran it past my friends like I normally do, you know, just like shit talking in like a group chat with your friends. So I sent it to my friend Joy, I sent it to my friend Assia, I sent it to Kat, I sent it to Rachel, sent it to everyone. They vetted this person on social media, and they were kind of looking a bit further into it. And they were like, okay, you know, you really should. You've been here a good couple months now. Maybe you should, you know, venture out a little bit. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. So I end up going on this date, and I don't know what to expect. I'm incredibly nervous. I hate it makes me cringe whenever you're like walking up to someone, you know, during a date. And this is with friends too. I just have I feel so uncomfortable whenever you're like walking towards someone, but you're both walking at like a normal pace, but you know that you're walking towards that other person. So it's kind of just like, hi. And you're like walking towards them. I think it's so awkward. And that's exactly what happened this time, right? Okay, I'm gonna put it out there that this guy was nice, and I'll leave it at that. But this was someone that I necessarily didn't want to go out with. However, it was at the stage where my friends were like, Adam, we really don't want you to be lonely, but we also are sick of you complaining about the fact that, you know, no one's asking you out, or you're not going out when people ask you. Because I had a couple people ask me out, and I just didn't feel comfortable enough going. I'm normally that way anyway. It kind of has to be a spontaneous thing. I hate organization. I hate organizing dates. Again, I think it's very awkward. I also just hate talking to people. So anyways, I end up saying I'm gonna go on this because it was true what my friends and my family were saying, where it was like, Adam, you can't complain about being lonely, and because I moved to this new place, I don't know anyone, and then refuse to go out with anyone who invites you out, whether that's just a friend, going out to a club, or whatever. I end up agreeing, and I go out. Now, we meet during, like, the daytime, and it is a lovely, lovely, lovely summer's day. Again, it wasn't that long ago. So I end up going on this date, and again, like, midday. And they want to go out for drinks, so I'm like, alright, we'll go out for drinks. So we go into this club, and we go down for drinks, right? Now, at this stage, the conversation is very boring. Now, let's be honest. Whenever you're having a date, the conversations will normally be fucking boring. But immediately, the conversation starts turning in a way where I feel like I've been talking to this person all my life. And not in a, ooh, am I catching feelings? Like I feel like I've been talking to this person all my life. No, in terms of I was like, wait, this person knows an awful lot about me. Like, knows an awful lot about me. And then I was like, have I met this person before? Have I, like, talked with this person before? Or whatever like that. And I was like, I do not recognize you. And also, I don't mean this in a petty way, but I mean this in a truthful way. Listen. We all love a little face tune. We all love a little bit of Photoshop. We all love a little bit of whatever, tweaking in our photos. We live in a society that kind of perpetrates that we have to look perfect online. Listen, I feed into it as well. Not by looking, no, by the what I portray online. You know what I mean? And it's like, on Instagram, I mean, I'm a mess on YouTube. But I feel like, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, the way that you look on Instagram, if you have more than 10 pictures, maybe you should look like what you look like on your Instagram. Now, I'm not just talking about maybe like tweaks here and there. I'm talking about uploading old pictures of you from whenever you were way younger and almost passing them off as if it's you now. Listen, I do not care. I think it is so wrong if you look one way on social media and you show up at a date and you look completely different. Because as well, whenever you're talking to someone online, and I had been maybe for a couple days leading up to this, because again, I was trying not to go. A couple days up to this, whatever, you kind of are not really getting the vibe of a person. So, you know, you're looking through their photos, and again, I'm sorry, but I feel like you get a vibe from someone from just looking through their Instagram, what kind of poses they do, what kind of photos they upload, do they upload with friends, do they have pets, do they, all these different things. I think you can get the vibe of a person through their Instagram. So, if you do not look like your Instagram, I think it's a fucking problem. I really do, and I don't care if you well, I actually do care if you disagree with me, and I would love to have a healthy debate about it, but I really do think it's a problem if you're consistently posting on Instagram. Listen, this person has over 40 pictures on their Instagram, specifically at the time when this date happened, right? Not one of them pictures did they look like it. Now, the person on their Instagram looks consistent, but it just doesn't look consistent with how they look. So whenever this person shows up, the worst, oh my god, I just realized that there's another worst. Oh, I have two. Okay, I'm gonna leave for another video. This one's so good. Basically, little spoiler for another story I want to tell you. I show up to a date and I was accidentally talking to a different person thinking it was this person. And then I show up and start talking to this person about the conversations that me and this other person were having, and then this person goes along with it, and I end up asking them, you know, oh, sorry, what's your Snapchat? I don't have it. And he's like, I say, oh my god, I sent it to you on Snapchat. And he's like, I don't have Snapchat. And I'm like, no, I sent it to you on Snapchat. You were responding to me. And he's like, I don't have Snapchat. And I pull up and I send a message to this account, and the person literally, we're sitting here, this is a different story, by the way. Sorry, opens it and responds to it, and I'm like, and then he realizes that I've been talking to someone else thinking it was him, but I didn't think I was talking to two different people because they look very identical. That's a whole other story. And that went on for a long time. So anyway, with this story, I show up to the place where we're supposed to meet. It was like one of the main places in Brighton. I normally like that whenever you're meeting up with someone for a date, to meet up in a public area. Also, tip, y'all, please do that. So I show up and I walk past this person. You know, I immediately was doing this to someone, and it was the wrong person. It was someone who looked more like the pictures on Instagram than the person who shows up. So then that person walks on, and I've been waving to the wrong person, and then I realized I've not only just completely walked past the person who it was, I'm so far past. So anyway, I go back, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like, I'm so embarrassed. But he obviously didn't pick up on it. So we go out. I'm just giving you a little bit of context on what I'm going into this with. So anyway, we're sitting down, and like I said, I feel like I've been talking to this person forever, just because they know kind of my friends' names, and they know about my friend Joy back home, and they know an awful lot about Kat, and they know about my parents. And so I'm like, am I related to you? Like, it literally was like talking to a cousin. They knew that much about me. So the further on you're going in the conversation or whatever, the more that things would be hinted at in my life. Like, almost whenever the conversation would die down, he would like ignite a conversation based on something that has happened in my life. So it was kind of like, I knew then that I had posted something about what he was saying, so I had to tell the truth. So obviously I did. But it was literally going on and on and on and on and on like this, where it was literally like every conversation that he started was like a key moment in my life. Like something that had happened. He knew about the location of the college that I went to. He was talking to me about the college. He talked about there was a past pupil that went to it that he was best friends with. I ended up going through this person and asking them. They said that they don't know who this person is. But then again, if they looked at the Instagram, they wouldn't know who this is. They knew my parents' full names. They knew what my father's job was. They were asking me about that. But didn't bring it up as, oh, your dad does this, right? Brought it up as that his dad does this. And I was like, oh my god, my dad does that too. I was like, what the fuck? And it really was like a forced conversation of, we have so much in common. And I was told continuously, you know, we have a lot in common. And I was like, so we do. And then there were more so questions about the YouTube life. I was asked what my job was, which was very surprising because every piece of information that he knew about me was stuff that I had posted on my YouTube. So I was like, oh, like I, you know, make videos online or whatever. It's more so like a hobby and I have fun doing it and stuff like that. And, you know, I get the occasional sponsors and I was kind of putting it off like that. Then he starts talking about possible sponsorships that I've had and knows the sponsorships. And so at this stage is when I get really uncomfortable because I know that this person knows an awful lot about me, and I kind of came to the conclusion at this stage that they have done their research, and I don't mean look through my Instagram, I mean probably look through my Google records. And I am telling you that I wish that this wasn't true because I've never been so uncomfortable in that, and I hate in-person confrontation when I'm not ready for it. When I'm ready for it, ooh, I'm the best person to have confrontation with. But when I'm caught off guard or I feel severely uncomfortable, I shut down. So we're sitting with drinks and he keeps ordering more and more and more drinks. And keep in mind, it's literally like 12 a.m. Or no, it's not 12 a.m. It's like 12 p.m. You know, during midday. And I have animals at home. I want to go back to my dogs. I was supposed to take my dogs out for a walk. Like, I want to go back home to my friends. I want to go out with Rachel because Rachel was staying in Brighton that weekend. Like, I just want to not be drunk. So he keeps ordering these drinks, and you can get a jug. And it's like a jug, or you can get a glass. I don't know if they do this everywhere in the world, but in the UK, they love their drinks. So you can get it cheaper than... So if I was to order a Red Bull vodka, for this, it would be more expensive than getting a huge jug of the drink. Because they're like, oh, like special deal or whatever. So he kept ordering these. So we're like inside, in this club or whatever, 12 p.m., more and more and more drinks. And now at this stage, I'm sipping at them. So I have a jug, he has a jug, and there's like 3 other jugs. I'm just sipping at it because I am like, by God, am I going to be stumbling through the streets of Brighton at 12 p.m. So I'm sipping and he's downing, going for it, and the more he drinks, the more he's telling me, and the more he's telling me is all just stuff about me. And now, please, can someone out there have an experience? Please, I'm literally fucking begging. I'm literally begging. That you went on a date and someone has done their thorough research on you. Thorough. So anyway, the more drunk he gets, the more he's opening up. But it's like opening up about my life. I literally feel like I'm on a date with myself. Because it's like talking to an AI robot who knows everything about me. Like, the thing his dad done, I did. The college degree he had, I had. His friends I had. You know, the friends were always relating to each other. You know, he's like, oh, like I always did YouTube. You know, Adam and Eve. All these different things. Trickle, trickle, trickle. More and more and more. And it was just the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. So I'm not drinking at this stage, and he takes note of the fact I'm not drinking. And he goes, oh, like you're not drinking, do you want me to order you more? I'm like, So at this stage, I knew that it was getting more and more leading up to something because, like, he was actively getting drunk. And again, as much as I can say, like, if you're ever in an uncomfortable situation in a date, just get up and walk. listen, I am going to preach that to you, but that's not what I did in that moment, for the reason of I felt insanely uncomfortable. And again, I was starting to shut down, and I just was like, no one around me knows that I am very weirded out right now. So at this stage, I text one of my friends who I haven't talked to in literally months. I haven't talked to this guy in months. Great guy, right? Still talk to him today. I messaged him, was like, hey, I have not spoken to you in a while. He had sent me a message and I was responding to him. So I was like, oh, like 1 second, whatever. And I was like, can you call me right now? And he's like, what? And I was like, can you please call me right now? So he calls me again. Have not talked to this guy in literally months. So he calls me, and this is how it goes. I'm on the phone and I go, yep. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Okay. And he's at the other, and he's like, Adam, you okay? And then he goes silent. So he kind of knows what's going on at this stage. And so I do this a lot whenever I get really uncomfortable in public situations. I really shouldn't be saying this because then I'm blowing my cover. But I'll do like fake calls. However, this one was a real one. And I was like, okay, all right, I'll be there now. Okay. And that's how I got out of it. I hung up the phone, and because he's then actively hearing me have a conversation where I'm answering with, okay. Oh, yeah, I can be there by this time. Because he's hearing me do that, whenever I get off the phone, it's less awkward for me, whether it is or whatever. And if he thought I was lying, I just wanted out of there. I was able to then come off the phone and be like, oh my god, like this just happened with my friend, I need to go, whatever like that. So then I bring this up and he's like, oh, like, can we stay for one more drink? And he starts getting like super touchy and super whatever. And then that is officially whenever I was like, listen, it was lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you. But I'm gonna go. So whenever I start to get up is whenever he kind of like grabs my hand or whatever and starts doing this on my hand. And literally I've been on a date once where this has happened, and like a guy has kind of like done this to me, just like trying to be flirty. And like anytime someone does that to me, I'm like, don't touch me, don't. Because I just have so many feelings from that moment, right? And so then he like pulls me to sit down again, and I literally go like this. I'm gonna go. And then I get up and I was like, again, lovely to meet you. I end up paying for all the fucking drinks. Because guess what? He didn't bring his fucking card with him. So not only does this person not look like how he looks online, he was basically pretending to be me, or just trying to pretend he had a lot in common with me by doing his thorough research on me. Knew my primary school, by the way. He literally knew my primary school. And I'm like, you're from the UK. I went to primary school in Ireland? I didn't say that to him, I was too fucking scared. No, but seriously, every single thing. I remember getting on a call with my mom about it and telling her, and I was like, oh, like, y'all wanted me to go on a date, and I was just so scared, like, I don't want to do this again. And it was literally so long after that that I went on a date again. It was one of the most, listen, I'll look back on it and say cringy, but it was just so unnerving to be sitting with someone who you know knows you. Because, listen, whenever I'm on a date and, like, someone's asking me questions, if I'm not that interested in you, like, I'm not gonna be giving you the full truth. So, you can't do that in a date where someone knows about you, because then they'll be like, actually, I saw on Google, on page 256 of your, like, fucking Google search, that this isn't the, like, I couldn't even do that. So I was mainly quiet rather than, like, bluffing. Because again, listen, if you tell me that you've been on a date and you've never bluffed, or you haven't even, you know, not told the full truth about whatever the person's asking. Because listen, I've been on dates where people are just interested in how much money I have, or my animals, but not in like, oh, your animals are really cute. Just asking more so about like the breeds and how much like their pups would sell for. Like, listen, I have seen very weird people. Very weird people. But after that, it really was a moment where if you're following me on YouTube, I'm sure you could go back and see, I was really sporadic with my uploads during a period, and I was so down. I was so down. I was like sad in every video. I was mainly uploading videos where I was just crying. I was at such a low moment because after that happened, it really threw me off my tracks where I felt safe going on dates. I didn't anymore. And so because that had happened, it took me so long to meet up with new people and brighten as in friends. And then the whole date aspect of it was completely fucked for me right after that. So I ended up going and seeing the guy that I was on the phone with, and we had a great time. But furthermore, after that, I don't think I went on a date for a long time, speaking truthfully with you, just because I was so just weirded out by the fact that, like, all of that was possible within a date. I was like, really? Like, I was here for, you know, like a nice afternoon tea. So there's just been so many different dates that I've been on that haven't been great. And I know that one thing as humanity that we can all come together on is the fact that we've possibly had bad or awkward dates. And listen, I even hinted at a couple more in this story. If you want to hear some more, I am an open book. I'm an open book. There hasn't been many of them, but I'm an open book, and I will tell you about the bad ones. I don't even know if there's been good ones. Listen, we've been through it. So I just want to tell you about that. And I also just want to say at the end of this video, please do not do what I did. If you're ever in this situation where you feel so severely uncomfortable, go to the bathroom and leave. Looking back on that, I'm like, Adam, go to the bathroom and leave. You know, you're in like a club environment. Go to the bathroom and leave. But then I feel bad that I'm like leaving someone on their own. And especially because I knew that he didn't bring a fucking debit card with him and I had to pay for the fucking drinks that I didn't even fucking drink. That he dined and sat on, probably fucking drank. Don't do what I did, right? They can take the L and they can get the money for the order if they were the ones that was ordering it, right? Or just leave money, or go up to the cash register people at cash register. Go up to the waitress. All love to waitresses out there. Go up to them and be like, hey, I'm paying for this table. Then you can go, right? Or go out for a smoke break or something like there's so many different things that I would go back and tell myself to do now. And I feel like that's why I'm now at a stage where I feel comfortable going on dates, because I've kind of seen really shitty dates unfold that I've lived through. And I didn't act in those moments how I would want myself to act. So I look back on them and kind of take different things. So I've been on a couple since, and I'm like, okay, like, I now know how to apply this. And I've been on a bad date recently as well, and I literally just walked. I was like, hey, this isn't working out, like, I wish you well. And that's so much better than putting yourself through a very bad experience. In my opinion, you may disagree, maybe it's part of character building. I don't think so. But I want to know if you've got what your opinion is on this. Just very fucking weird. And I love telling this story. So, I'll see you in my next one. Thank you so much for watching this story time. I really appreciate your time. And these are just so fun to film. So, I hope you're having a great December, and bye.